It does not arrive as a crisis. That is the part nobody tells you. You expect it to be loud, dramatic, the kind of realization that comes with a clear before and after, a moment you can point to and say, that was when everything changed. But it does not come like that. It comes on a Tuesday or a Sunday evening when the week is almost over and the next one is already beginning to take shape. It comes in the middle of something completely ordinary. You are sitting somewhere you have sat 100 times, doing something you have done 100 times, and something without warning, without invitation, shifts, not the circumstances. The circumstances are exactly the same as they were 5 minutes ago. Something inside, a quiet recognition, like a frequency you've been too busy to hear, suddenly coming through clearly, and what it says is not loud, is not accusatory, is barely even a full sentence. Just, this is not it. Not this job exactly. Not this relationship exactly. Not this city or this routine or this version of the future you have been working toward. Just, this is not it. And you sit with that because you do not know what to do with it. Because the life you are living is not a bad life. By every external measurement, it is a reasonable life, a responsible life. The kind of life that when you describe it to someone else sounds like it should be enough. And yet, something in you, quiet and certain and completely unwilling to be argued with, knows that enough was never actually the goal. Here's how it happened. Not all at once. Never all at once. It happened the way all slow things happen. One small decision at a time. Each one completely reasonable. Each one making perfect sense in the moment it was made. You chose a degree that made your parents proud rather than the one that kept you up at night with excitement. You took the job that offered security rather than the one that terrified you with possibility. You stayed in the city where your life already was rather than moving toward the life you kept imagining somewhere else. You chose a relationship that was comfortable rather than the one that made you feel most alive but also most uncertain. And none of those decisions were wrong. They were logical, careful, the decisions of someone who was paying attention to the real world, not just the world inside their head. But here is what accumulated underneath them. Every time you chose the responsible option over the resonant one, you sent yourself a message, not consciously, not deliberately, but your nervous system received it. The message was, what you actually want does not get to be the deciding factor. And you receive that message enough times that eventually you stop asking what you actually wanted. Not because you forgot, because asking started to feel like cruelty. Why want something you have already decided you are not going to choose? Psychologists call this the slow erosion of intrinsic motivation, the gradual replacement of what genuinely drives you with what externally rewards you. And the terrible efficiency of that replacement is that it works. You become successful by other people's definitions. You become stable, reliable, someone who has their life together. And the version of you that had different plans gets quieter and quieter until one Tuesday, it stops being quiet. Something harder than that. So what do you do with this? Not quit everything. That is a dramatic version of this realization, and it almost never works. Trading one life that is not yours for another one you grab too quickly. Not ignore it. You have tried that. It came back. It will keep coming back. One thing, you get honest about the distance. Not the whole distance. Not the entire gap between the life you are living and the life you actually wanted. Just one honest acknowledgement of one thing that you want, that your current life has no path toward. Not a plan, not a timeline, not a commitment to blow everything up and start over. Just honesty. The specific, courageous act of saying to yourself, without immediately problem solving, without immediately explaining why it is not possible, without immediately listing all the reasons a responsible choice was actually the right choice. Just, this is what I actually want. And then sitting with that for as long as it takes for it to stop feeling dangerous. Jim Rohn said, if you don't design your own life plan, someone else will. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. And I want to say something more personal than that. The life someone else designed for you is not punishment. It is not evidence that you failed. It is evidence that you were paying attention to everyone's needs, except the quietest one, your own. The day you realize the life you are building is not yours, is not the end of something. It is a first honest moment in a story that finally gets to be written by the right person. If this is the kind of honest conversation you've been looking for, I make one of these every week. You know where to find me.